On this week's episode of Big Movie Mouth Off, we get unfriended.
True story.
Welcome back to another episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm your host, Jimmy Martin.
I'm Jeff Counts.
There you go. You can find Big Movie Mouth Off, all new information right here, so just stay tuned. It is 3 times a day now on Xfinity Channel 6. It's at 6 a.m., so if you're rising up, getting up there, 12 o'clock.
Also, if you're waking up.
If you're waking up, a little bit rougher of a night, or on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Or 6:30 p.m. every single day, Monday through Friday, but Saturday and Sunday as well. So
tell them the best part.
all 7 days on the on-demand system. Go to Utah On Demand. It's just Big Movie Mouth Off now. It's our own folder, or actually the first folder that pops up.
Yep.
So you hit Utah On Demand, boom, boom, 2 clicks, you're in it, and you're in it to win it.
We have achieved folder clarity.
There you go. All right. So in this episode, we are going to review Unfriended. Not you, because you didn't venture down that road.
Nope.
We're gonna have that with our buddy Brooks Bird from Blog Critics and The Real Place. We are also going to have 2 interviews in the middle of this episode. It will be one with Russell Crowe, who directed his first-time directorial debut of The Water Diviner. And also, well, we're jumping into it early this week. You're going to see Joss Whedon, the director of Avengers, Age of Ultron, my dancing buddy, what he remembers. And you'll see it coming up next. All right, but let's jump into this one with a Sundance release. It was at the 2015 Sundance Film Festival. True story. This is a true story. About a journalist at the Wall Street Journal, I believe. Named
New York Times.
New York Times.
Yeah.
I knew it was NYC.
Yeah.
And so Mike Finkel, who he's got a history. I mean, he was a renowned journalist, and then he decided to flub up on purpose a story.
He created a composite character.
Yeah.
Which is a no-no.
Oh, it's a big no-no in journalism. And so he's fired for it, disgraced, can't find a job anywhere, and in the midst of his disgrace, he gets a phone call from someone and says, hey, there's a guy down in Mexico who allegedly has murdered his entire family. And when they arrested him, they said, what's your name? And he said, Mike Finkel.
Of the New York Times.
Of the New York Times. So, that intrigues him. Yeah. And so then a relationship is born because he's like, you know what? I just kind of want to go see why me? I'm nobody's really special. I've got some awards here and there, but...
Sure.
But, my name's already been disgraced. So, to tell you the actors, Jonah Hill plays the real Mike Finkel. James Franco plays, his real name is Christian Longo. And the 2 meet, and the majority of the film is just kind of like in those interrogation rooms,
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation in this movie. It's talky.
Oh, it's talky to the 9th degree.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the film, and, you kind of wonder throughout the film, did he do it? All evidence points yes, but he's not admitting it, and that's the journey that we go down, of this dark tunnel of what Christian Longo really is.
That part of the movie, for me, if it weren't actually a true story that you can go on the internet and read all about before you even walk into the theater, that part of it would be a problem if it weren't real, because it's not as interesting when you get to the end as you think it might be at the beginning.
Well, because it's a true story.
Right. So they don't get to movie up the ending.
No explosions, no car chases, no.
And by the way, the truest part of the story of this movie is that it was at Sundance.
Yeah, right.
It feels like a Sundance movie.
It's a paint by numbers almost of Sundance movies.
Yeah,
and that's not a bad thing. There are a lot of great Sundance films that just follow that formula, but you look at it, you go, yeah, that's a Sundance movie.
Slow, lots of big pauses, lots of, film schooly shots.
Yep. I will say the greatest part about this film is watching 2 actors who we know more from, Superbad and, This Is the End, stoner comedies.
Yeah.
And there's nothing really funny about this movie.
This is not a Judd Apatow movie.
No, not in the slightest. But both are fantastic in their roles. And that's what's really fun about it. The other thing about, I'll stay on the roles for a second.
Okay.
Because the other actor who's really fantastic in this is Felicity Jones.
Yes.
Just recently nominated for Best Actress for Theory of Everything. She has scenes that put both those actors in their spot.
She's in the 2 best scenes in the movie.
Yep.
The creepy phone call and the tell-off that comes later.
So I think maybe, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But you're right, because we talked about those 2 scenes.
Yeah.
I think she's the best part of this film then.
No doubt. That's
just kind of like, if there's like a little illuminated light above my head, like, bing, oh yeah.
Yeah. She's really strong. She doesn't get a lot, but it's great what she does.
But, so with that, for acting-wise, I will say that this film has one of the greatest opening shots I have ever seen because, like I said, he's arrested for murdering his entire family. It's a shot of an infant in the fetal position in a suitcase, bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is that kid in the suitcase? Because I didn't really know the story. And then I'm like, that infant's not moving. And it's horrifying. And it sets the tone in 5 seconds of what this movie is and what this man has done.
My heart rate is going up with you just talking about it. I mean, that's one of the most gripping opening scenes I've ever watched.
It's, and there's cuts of, the suitcase being thrown into the water. And it's just, I couldn't breathe.
Does this movie really live up to that opening scene, though, all the way through? I mean, it sets a tone that's so... You think it's going to be, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo level of darkness.
Yeah.
It's really not.
No, the darkest things, I think, is the unknown in this film.
I guess.
Because you're sitting there and, you're saying all evidence points that you did it.
Yeah.
Why aren't you just saying it? And so, and then they're like, is somebody else there? Are you covering up for somebody? And then you get into and then you kind of do get into a basic trial, that it's like, oh, that's what he's going to say. I get it, like that. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say a letdown. It's just, like you said, a true story.
It's true. They had to stick with it. Did you notice, though, anytime the mic, so to speak, was on James Franco, you could hear every time he swallowed. You could hear every exhale, every time he smacked his lips. It was almost like part of his character, like tics or something.
I've never seen the real guy. I think that's probably his tics.
I guess it was really strange that the director chose to kind of keep that in the movie, because those long stretches of silence, that's kind of all you hear sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
weird.
I loved it. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Same with me.
And it's I love being surprised. Yeah. So I'm giving it 3.
Yeah,
3 stars.
I'm going to give it a 3 as well. I think Franco and Felicity Jones are better than Jonah Hill is. I don't really buy him as the hard-bitten kind of reporter.
Sure.
But there's no doubt that the scenes between the two of them, he was up to the challenge.
I just love because I didn't see those 2 stoner comedy actors. I saw 2 actors playing very dramatic roles and doing them very well.
I'm with you on that.
So there you go. 2 ratings, 3 stars each for True Story. Stay tuned because coming up next, we're going to have the interviews with Russell Crowe of The Water Diviner and Joss Whedon, my dancing buddy.
It begins.
For Avengers Age of Ultron. It's coming up next. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, first, belated happy birthday to you.
Thanks, man.
You've done documentaries, music videos, short films, never a feature film. But did those prepare you or probably prepare you for this experience?
Yeah, well, I've been working in front of a camera since I was 6, and I've done 25 years now of lead roles in feature films. So that's a massive accumulated education of, direct on-set experience. And I've had the intellectual concept of directing for quite some time, and to that end, as you said, I've done the video clips, I've done documentaries, but certainly I don't think the size of the responsibility of not only directing but being in the feature film at the same time was anything I really knew the reality of. Thankfully, because I possibly wouldn't have done it if I really knew, how extreme that can be some days. However, having said that, I didn't actually find it to be that big a deal.
Really?
A very natural progression for me.
That's a good thing.
I've always been a very narrative-focused actor. So I want to know where the story's at and where my character is in that story. At any given moment.
Sure.
So I've also always been technically aware.
Yeah.
I understand the importance of knowing what the lens is, how the camera's going to move, and particularly what the director wants from that shot, the information they want. I've never been the sort of actor that, for good reason, that believes that the camera either loves you or it doesn't. I know that the camera is inanimate, and that it's my responsibility to feed it. So if you're that sort of performer anyway, then the step to directing is actually not that large. This responsibility, this experience, the depth of it, creating the composition, the colors, the textures that people are wearing, the particular emotional journey for everybody. It's just a very comfortable place for me, man.
Is it harder or easier for you to critique yourself in the editing process? When it's you on the screen.
Oh, look, man, I'm hard as nails when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If I won't put up with something lesser than somebody can give me, then what I demand for myself is going to be,
Sure.
a lot heavier than that, But there are some funny pieces of B-roll where I'm talking to myself as the director. I'm talking to myself while watching myself on the monitor. Oh, you idiot! I said left. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
And then you go back. So there's definitely some schizoid moments, but
Sure.
overall, a very simple, easy, natural transition.
Yeah. Now that you got one under your belt, is there another passion project you want to do, like to direct or?
Oh, look, I've got
genre?
a few things that I'm developing and stuff, but one of the things I know about this business, as soon as you start talking about something that you want to do or going to do, it just goes gets further out of your grasp. So here's the gamble that I'm undertaken, man. It's a 3-year process to make the film.
Sure.
And what's on the line is really freedom. I've been, for want of a better expression, a gun for hire actor for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Whoever the director is, wherever they want to shoot, that's where we're going. If Ridley wants to shoot in Morocco, we're going to go to Morocco. If Aronofsky wants to shoot in Iceland, then that's where I'm going to be. So, but as I get older, and my kids get older, my need to be at home grows larger and larger within me. I've got an 8-year-old and 11-year-old, and it's just the place I want to be. Wherever they are is where I want to be.
Sounds good.
So if this were to be successful, it really buys me that sort of level of creative control. So it gives me 2 things. It gives me the ability to just, simply pursue my own projects and continue my, creative journey that way. But it also means that, for my pre-production, my post-production, for the majority of my time, I can actually be at home.
Sounds good.
So that's what's on the line.
It was an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Cheers, man.
Thanks so much.
Cool.
Very nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
We have a fun history of dancing together. And
We do. Romantically under the moonlight.
That's fine with me. That's fine with me. I'm okay with it. Fantastic film, by the way. I mean,
Thank
you are killing this franchise amazingly. And, I will say I'm a little sad to hear that you're not going to be doing Infinity War. I love the Russo brothers, though.
I love them too. I'm a little sad.
Yeah.
Every time I read they're doing it, I'm like, well, fine. But I just, I can't do this again.
Is it killing you?
Yeah, a little bit. Only physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was incredibly hard. Hopefully people don't see too much sweat on the screen, but
Yeah.
this one was really, really tough to pull off, and I feel like I can't spend the next 4 years of my life trying to maintain that level.
Yeah.
With all of these characters.
Sure.
There's going to be so many of them.
Yeah, exactly. In your opinion, what makes a really good second chapter of a trilogy?
First of all, is not thinking of it as a trilogy.
Yeah.
Is saying second, it's its own movie. Having reason to come at it. It's not to bridge to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I think some trilogies and some series have made the mistake of actually putting out a film that's just a tee up for something else.
Yeah.
I had something I wanted to say with and through Ultron, and I wanted to make my sequel. When I think of Godfather 2, I don't think of Godfather 3. When I think of
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back, I don't even think of Return of the Jedi.
Sure.
It's I wanted to find something that paid off the things that people loved, but also went to a sort of darker, stranger place and was a statement in itself. And I'm excited about the third one. God knows I'll be first in line.
Yeah, exactly.
But and I think the Russo brothers will kill it.
Sure.
But if it doesn't kill them.
Yeah, exactly, right. Through your journey through here, were there any characters that you wanted to throw in there from Marvel that Marvel's like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if we want to see Lockjaw or Dazzler?
The Lockjaw Dazzler scene was so good and so romantic, and really illegal, I think, actually. No, there was a bit of doubt about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and I'm happy to say that Lizzie and Aaron dispelled all of doubts.
Yeah.
I got 4 new characters in there that I felt strongly the narrative needed. That's plenty.
Yeah.
I didn't need any more.
Yeah. The movie deals a lot with who's worthy enough to pick up Thor's hammer. Kind of jokes with that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, who's living nowadays that's worthy enough to pick up that hammer?
I think Malala Yousafzai might actually hoist that thing.
Yeah.
Comes to mind.
There you go. And another thing we've done together, we sang karaoke. And what is your go-to karaoke song?
Well, it was Desperado, but time's taking a toll. Can't hit those Henley notes no more.
And then last, just because it premiered last night, I just want to get your opinion if you had any take on Daredevil yet, because I stayed up till 3 a.m. watching some.
Yeah, that's fine for you. I had to do a press junket today. And I can't believe they put it out today.
Right.
Because I was talking to Drew Goddard about it yesterday, and he's like, I'm really anxious for you to see that. I'm like, shut up! I hate you. I get to watch it on Sunday.
It's fun Sunday. All right, well, cool. I'll be looking for your opinion.
Excellent.
Thanks, man. Good seeing you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm your host, Jimmy Martin.
I'm Brooks Bird with blogcritics.org and therealplace.com.
So many.
I know.
Growing up.
I'm building my repertoire.
Growing up. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the interviews with Russell Crowe and Joss Whedon.
Who wouldn't?
I didn't. I had a good time. So now, getting into the next one.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Lucky
going
me.
to review Unfriended. Yeah, you asked for it. We're going to review Unfriended. This is the latest in the horror slasher,
Found footage.
whatever you want to call
its
it.
own grave.
Exactly. The story is basically the entire film. Well, there's a story.
There's a plot.
The entire film is shot as if you're looking at someone's desktop.
Like Modern Family's episode.
I'm glad you brought that up
Which-
because it was done better.
Yeah. And this was filmed earlier, weirdly.
Yeah, well, and I get that feeling too because there's actually
Yeah.
times where they actually say, "Hey, this happened a year ago. What's today's date? 2014." Well, that's not right. That is
I was
not
like,
right.
what?
That means you filmed it in either 12 or 13.
Yeah.
The story that does go on. We start the film out with a found footage YouTube video of a girl committing suicide in a high school parking lot. Now we go to find out that that same girl,
Laura Barnes.
the reason she has committed suicide is because, well, some unknown fellow peers have posted a video online of her intoxicated.
The timely topic of cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying.
Which is the only time it's brought up.
I think, you know,
It's an underlying theme. but-
yeah, the film basically focuses on that. Then the 5 friends get together via Skype, so you got little screens here and there.
Yeah.
You see chats, you know, popping up, or you know, so and so's texting you, or
Facebook.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
basically a 90-minute Facebook Skype commercial.
It is. It's like watching kids playing on a computer for 90 minutes, which is as horrifying as it sounds.
That's the scariest part.
It really is. There are
And their
few,
grammar.
there's a few things that I did enjoy in this one.
There were a few.
That the first thing is, I think it's funny how the score of the film is when she's picking songs out of her iTunes.
Yeah.
That's
That
kind of
was-
funny.
And
Or-
it made sense.
Oh, and to let you in on the joke or the actual plot is that the demon of the deceased has
Getting revenge.
has basically logged back into her account and joined the conversation, never showing anything. Always just like that blue outline of a person on Facebook. So that's all you see, just texting,
icon.
no voices, no nothing. And then
text.
she basically starts possessing people if they piss her off.
Yeah.
And
if you make her too mad, she's going to possess you, and you're gonna kill yourself.
Yep. And so basically, you know, and the methods that she does make them kill themselves. There's a few ones where my jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
Like a guy sticking
a blender.
a blender to his throat.
After he shoved his hand in it.
It's a sight to be seen. Acting, not really there.
No.
These are
Not that we
5
expect it to be, but
5 no-name actors that you don't really know. Maybe some TV stars here and there, but
one.
nobody's really going to attach themselves to this thing because it's not worthy of being attached to.
No.
Again, a few good gags here and there, but I found myself just watching 5 kids
It's as boring as watching someone play on their computer for an hour
or
and a half.
watching 5 kids bigger at each other.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting older in age. I get
Which
it.
could be funny if it had better script, but
Well, again, I mean, the script. I mean,
which I've heard there wasn't really much of and was made very much on the fly.
funny. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. But
A
the
lot
Modern
of it
Family
was-
reference,
yeah.
that's, you know, you look at that and it was funny. They utilized a lot more apps and applications of, where is that person? Find the iPhone like that,
Sending emails, Facebook.
Yeah, this one is just like something spooky's happening off screen. And you're like, that's because you don't have the budget to do anything spooky on screen.
Yeah.
And it has-
cuts to the stupid little buffering.
Yeah, oh, that's
they-
the other thing. If these kids had Google Fiber, it would have been a 40-minute movie and not an 81-minute movie.
Because you would have had to wait for half the movie to load.
I'm not kidding. There's like, hang on, I'm logging in. I'm like, please do something
Yeah.
before
And then it cuts
before I
back to
grab that
someone's
blender and
screen.
use it on myself.
Yeah. The one part where they're playing Have I Never or whatever that game is.
Never have I
Never
ever.
have I ever.
Yeah.
That part got kind of funny.
There were some funny parts here and there because they start calling each other out on their lies.
They turn on each other. Which is where it finally starts to get interesting, and then
about 20 minutes later, dies again.
Yeah.
And it has one of the. I mean, I was so tired of the last shot of a horror film, the creature or demon or spirit or devil or whatever jump at the camera.
This was the only time for me that I thought it at least wasn't a cheat, because you kind of forget that you're watching one computer screen, and so you forget that you are the main girl.
You're her.
And so when the laptop comes down, I was like, it wasn't a cheat for once.
Wasn't cheat, but it's been done 1,000 times.
If you've seen Paranormal Activity, there's your ending.
Then you've seen it 9 times.
That's the end of the movie.
So I think that's probably as far as I can take this film review. 1 for a few gags. I think that's where I'm at.
Almost wanted to go 1.5, but it's just so tiring.
Yeah.
It was a good idea. I'm just going to go with 1 as well.
1?
Yeah.
See, and this, usually you and I disagree. Usually about a 4, losing your mind about
With
this kind
these
of crap.
horror movies.
But yeah, 1 from me, 1 from Mr. Brooks.
It is not a good one.
Don't go see Unfriended. It screams that it's been sitting on a shelf for a while.
It's going to make a lot of money this weekend, and then it'll be gone.
I always wonder
It's
why they...
Jason Blum. I don't know what his secret is. They made it for $1 million.
Oh, then yeah, it's going to make money.
Exactly. It had $1 million budget. It's going to make 15 this weekend, so that's 15 times its budget.
And they'll just take it and go, thank you. All right.
Universal goes, between you and our other movie, I think we're set for the year.
We're good. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. Be sure to check us out on Xfinity Channel 6. Also on the on-demand system. Like I said, it's a new folder, Utah On Demand, Big Movie Mouth Off. That's it. 2 clicks, you're there. And we'll catch you next time.